Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Joining me for the Lamont Tyson Life Game show tonight. Some of you guys may know him as Osito on the hit show Hightown on STARZ. Tonight, we get to know him as Mr. Atkins Estimond, the man behind the character. Mr. Atkins, how you doing today?
I'm doing very good. How are you doing, Lamont?
I can't complain, man. I'm so happy to have you here and so thankful that you guys are doing such a great show this year, man. I mean, pure fire. How have you felt about the action in the show so far, Hightown Season 2?
Man, season 2 has been, it's just been phenomenal. Obviously, I'm biased because I'm on the show, but I think that, the writing, the whole thing, I was just, sitting and thinking about it today. And I was just feeling very fortunate that I get to work with the people that I work with, because the cast on this show, everybody is of just such a high caliber of talent. The writing, Rebecca Cutter, what she's put together, and the writers for the show, I mean, it's just it's amazing, and as an actor, this is the kind of work that you're dying for, so I count myself to be very lucky that I'm a part of this project, and I'm just excited because I know what's going to happen, so I'm very excited for everybody to see what is in store in this season.
I must warn people, I am not one of these guys who interview stars and try to get them to spill any beans. I'm more so one who tries to ingratiate the stars to be comfortable. No, so you won't get me doing any of this stuff trying to get him to spill any beans, no more than what he can say. Yeah. But I do have to say this to you, Mr. Atkins. There was a scene. Now, my wife is your biggest fan. I just want you to know that. Shout out, wife.
I've seen your show, so I'm aware of that. So please pass my thanks along to your wife.
I will definitely do that. Yeah. Now, there was one review we did, and I said, oh, man, this is trouble. And I got the clip for you. Yeah. We're going to show this clip, then we're going to get to know the man behind the character.
Gotcha.
How's your leg feel now?
My left leg hurts when I walk. But the third leg's ready for some exercise.
I need a male assist.
Look, no, hold on. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. All right, I apologize. My mama didn't raise me to talk to a lady like that. It's just this place makes you crazy.
I said, honey, they didn't introduce this beautiful therapist for nothing. That's what I said. See, that's one laugh. I promised at least two. That's one.
That's one down.
I said, honey, they did not introduce this beautiful therapist for nothing. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Atkins Estimond. And let's give him the Hollywood reception that he deserves.
Thank you.
Building my people. So let me get to know this about you. So we know you're a talented, dynamic actor. But tell us about your upbringing, where you're from, and what propelled you into acting.
Well, I actually was born in Fort Lauderdale, so I note the Dolphins hat. I was born in Fort Lauderdale, and acting came actually pretty early. I was in a Boys and Girls Club there, and my brother actually was part of a program that the Boys and Girls Club was doing. I want to say, I'm going to mess up the name. It was either Love Well or Love Joy, but they basically did, if you could sing, dance, act, whatever you did, they would put on these performances. And I saw my brother doing those shows, and I was like blown away. I was like, this is so cool. This is something I want to do. And then also, just as a young kid watching movies and shows and realizing that this was someone's profession, I was like blown away by that, So I actually had an opportunity to audition for that program when I was a little kid, but believe it or not, I was actually very shy. Really? And I was one of those people that would cut up like around my family and stuff and friends. But with people I didn't know, I was a bit more reserved. So they did the audition and they were like, basically come in and do whatever you can do. And I found myself kind of like frozen in there, you know, and they were like, you want to sing, you want to dance, but what can you do? And I was just like, oh, I don't know. And they were nice about it, but it was kind of the thing where I was like, all right, you know, nice to meet you, you know. So, and the moment I knew I blew it, you know, I was just like, oh, I'm bombing right now. And I got home and I just felt so bad. And but I told myself in that moment, I was like, man, if I ever get another opportunity to do anything like that, I'm not gonna let that happen again. I'm not gonna stand in my own way. I'm gonna do it. And but really, I didn't like officially get another opportunity like that until I was in like my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
My brother was doing theater in high school, and once again, I was seeing his shows, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So when I got to high school and I had the opportunity to join theater, I did. And, you know, I did it all 4 years of high school. I joined the Thespian Society.
What?
Yeah, I was like, and really like heavily involved in theater in high school. And,
so is it fair to say you kind of are a classically trained actor? So have you done any like Broadway type things in this long history of yours?
Well, yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to do any Broadway level shows, but I would definitely say I got my start in theater, and I had like a bit of a non-traditional path, whereas most people after high school would have gone straight to college for theater. I just started working, and I actually wasn't working doing anything like acting related. When I like graduated, I was in a band, and I was like, I'm gonna be a musician.
So does that mean there are some golden pipes in there? What we saying now?
I mean, I could do a thing or two on a guitar,
okay,
and I can carry a note, but I'm not like Barry White or anything like that. But yeah. So, and I was in a band with some friends from high school, and I was like thinking this was going to be my life, but then I realized I wasn't as good as I thought I was. And the acting just kept bugging me, you know, like I had friends that were still doing theater and I'd go see their shows. And I'm like, man, you know, there's something here. I really still want to explore this. So when the opportunity to do that came around, it just so happened that my family moved to Atlanta when I started like the 5th grade or something like that. But around that time when I decided I wanted to get back into acting, the film and TV industry in Atlanta had really started to bloom and blow up. And, you know, Tyler Perry's here. He's doing all kinds of projects. And Atlanta has really become a huge market for film and television. And I was like, instead of going back for the stage, I was like, well, there's plenty of film and TV opportunities. Let me do that. And I started doing that. But then I actually went back to school. I went back to college to try to get my theater degree. But I ended up having to drop out because I was getting so busy with the film and TV stuff. And I was using my film and TV money to pay for my school. But I would have to turn down film and TV jobs because of school. So I was like, this is a very weird cycle where I'm not benefiting. So I was just like, you know what? Like the school will always be there. But once you got momentum, it's hard to build momentum. So I was like, let me just go ahead and keep running with the ball and see what happens. And here we are, you know.
Man, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
Very, very good inspiration for those that are trying to get into acting, I would say, or the entertainment industry. Just hearing what you said probably is going to help motivate a whole lot of more people who just kind of been on the fringes and just really get out there and try to do it. So here's the key with you. You've been acting and around this thing for a long time, and you was in a 2010 movie called Kerbos. Is that the correct pronunciation of the movie?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's 2 laughs now. We're gonna be anything more is bonus. I told you.
Yeah. No. Wow. That you just took me way
back.
You did your research, man. Yeah, that was the first. Like when I was acting, everybody's like, you know, you gotta, if you're gonna do it, you gotta get out there and do some extra work just to kind of get your feet wet. So that was like an independent, like low budget film that I was an extra on.
Right.
And yeah, that was one of the very first, like, I think the very first credit I ever had on like IMDb or anything like that. But God, that had to be over 10 years ago that I did that. So
right.
wow, you really blew my mind.
2010, you got it in. And since 2010, you've had credits for over 40 projects. Man, you found a way to stay busy. And I saw your face on a show that I dearly loved before Hightown. Now let me take you back down memory lane.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, The Resident. Yes. The man has been on another great show. Ain't as good as Hightown now, but it's a great show. And I saw that and I went digging. I said, he's on The Resident. I remember that. And then I found out that not only have you been involved in doing these different shows, but you've given back to up and coming people trying to get into the acting field by helping them get their skills up. And that's how I was able to come across that. So are you still helping people getting into the acting world, get their skills up and kind of get themselves titrated to be in the entertainment industry?
Well, yeah, I was coaching for literally right before we started filming season 1 of Hightown. I was coaching at this studio in Atlanta called Catapult.
Right.
And I was working with like young actors, and I was doing teens. I had a class with teens, and I also had a class with kids. I want to say like 12, maybe 6 to 12 range, somewhere around there. And but also I would also coach actors who were, doing auditions and stuff like that. So I mean, I definitely, I had so many people help me along the way. So I firmly believe in, passing it back or passing it forward, however you want to say, and helping out anybody any way I can. I don't have as much time now to coach,
right,
or to teach, so. But if I can, I still have a lot of people who hit me up, and my inbox, a lot of people hit me up like, "Oh, I'm trying to get my start. What do I do or whatever." So if I have time, if I have a second, I'll sit down and be like, give some people some pointers, because I was like, there was a lot of stuff that I did at the beginning of the journey that was like a waste of time, a waste of money. So if I can spare actors who are starting out from those things, I'll try to do that. But it's just, getting the time now. I'm a dad, I'm working. I don't have all the moments free to do that,
Right. I'll say this. I'm a dad now too. I just waited till I was 40 to have my first one.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks, bro. Same to you too, man. And boy, she's a man. I'm surprised you ain't heard her come around this corner now trying to figure out who daddy talking to. But I look at her and think she's going to be the next person that's going to be on season 15 of Hightown when y'all start turning that cast around. So now let's get into Hightown, the present day. Osito. We saw his character evolve from season 1 to season 2 to the point where he is now in jail.
Yeah.
But he has a plan in jail. Elaborate a little bit on what's up with Osito, his motivations, his mindset right now while he's in jail, and everything's cooking outside of jail with Charmaine.
Yeah, so, anybody who's watched the show knows that Osito is a very crafty, very cunning character. And for him, I think, initially getting out of the hospital and getting into prison is, he was kind of shocked. This was like a very big shift from where we find him in the first season, where he is, he's making money. He's out here. He's a boss. You know what I'm saying? With Frankie being locked up, he's the number one guy in the organization, so he's coming from a very high level, a lot of status to being bottom of the barrel. He doesn't have a friend in sight. People are on his back. I got people, the guards are after me, the enemies are after me. So I got enemies left and right, top and bottom,
You can't even go to sleep without finding rats under your pillows, man.
Yeah. So a very different place from where we initially meet him. And so for him, initially, it's like kind of getting over that shock. But as soon as he kind of assesses what this is, he's immediately like, how can how can I, make this work for me,
Right.
So that's very much the mode that he switches into, and trying to survive. He's got Alan who's trying to use him, but he's not trying to, he's not a snitch and he's not trying to talk, but also he has to survive. So trying to see how little or how much he can get with a little, and how far will Alan play this game with him? And so we have that whole thing running on.
Right.
He's, where we find him now, and within episode 5, for everybody who's seen that episode, he's managed to make it over to the drug diversion unit, which is a much safer and nicer unit to be in,
Now, see, he's in that drug unit, but Mr. Atkins, I got to talk about Osito. He's got himself a new cellmate who, after one conversation between you two, you kind of feel invested in this character because of the struggle that character has been through.
Yeah.
And after this episode, Osito done got this man 2 steps away from feeling the fiery pits of hell because he's a former addict recovering. And now Osito has this man dealing around stuff that he know could blow up in his face. Where are we going to go with that, Mister? What we doing?
I think that in that situation, this is, I don't think that he's completely careless or callous of it, that he's, because the issue is that with the situation that happened with Junior, a lot of people felt like Osito was responsible or set Junior up. But for me, what I pulled from it is that he actually did form a friendship with him. Like, if you think back to the first season, who was it that he was really close with? He definitely wasn't friends with Frankie.
Nope.
He definitely wasn't friends with Kizzle. So there's not many people.
I think it might even be safe to say he had somewhat of a family love for Junior because he tried to send Junior away to Florida.
Yeah.
He tried to get him up out of there, but didn't happen. So I felt like it was friendship, yes, but I felt like there might have been something a little bit more deeper between the two than maybe was eluded in the story.
For sure.
And I think you portrayed that as an actor pretty well. I mean, we could tell.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. I definitely, when I was reading the script, I felt like the relationship between the two of them, it may have started out as sort of like a mentor trying to, I'm trying to get him into the street life. I'm trying to toughen him up. But in that process, I feel like there was some moments, especially like when we had the situation in that hotel room with the girl who I killed brutally,
Yes.
And yeah. And that's one of the first times where you get a little peek into Osito's world, and that kind of wall kind of comes down. And I feel like sharing that information with him was kind of one of those moments that kind of built that relationship to be more than just what it initially started off as. Right. So I think when we're looking to the future now with Vernon, I think he's definitely cautious about, taking another person under his wing who has issues with substance abuse. But he's also in a situation where he's like, I'm trying to build something in here. And it's like, do you want to be a part of this empire that I'm trying to make within the green side? And can you stay clean while we do it? So there may be some wishful thinking on his end there, but I don't think that he's just wanting to just throw this kid into the blender. I think that he's maybe hoping that he can handle this and stay off the supply.
So what it sounds like I'm hearing, this is going to be Junior 2.0, black dude, blonde hair in the cape. That's what it sounds like I'm hearing.
Well, I can't go that far into the story,
right?
But definitely at the current moment, that is kind of how things are positioned. He's definitely my guy inside. So we'll see how that situation evolves, man. We got to wait. There's no new episode this weekend, but what's coming?
Oh no! Oh,
yeah.
oh! Look, you've been doing good, and then you just punch me in the stomach. Oh no. What no?
My bad.
There's no new episode this. So y'all
there's
left
no
us on
episode.
that pure fire. Let me show you what's the last impression we're going to be stuck with for 2 weeks. This is the final impression we're stuck with for 2 weeks. Or unless you're following my channel, you're watching me make all these videos and theory videos, you stuck with me. But man, and
2 weeks.
But it's good because we can drum up some drama here. I'm good about doing that, and I'll make sure that we keep this fire nice and hot. In terms of selecting the role, how did you go about securing the role of Osito in this classic show that was liked this week by Stephen King himself?
So I got the audition while I was actually already working on another show called Lodge 49 on AMC. And while I was working on that, or they were getting ready to start the second season, and prior to that, I got an audition for Hightown. And I'll be honest with you, Lamont, I did the audition and I was like, kind of on a throwaway. Like I was like, I don't ever book roles like this. I've never booked a role like this. So I went in and I did it. I mean, I approached it with the same seriousness I approach any audition I get. But in my mind, I was like, not super concerned because I'm like, I'm not going to get this. So I'm like, and maybe that in a way that helped because it might have freed me to be, to do things and play that I may have not normally done. Maybe I didn't play it as safe because I wasn't thinking I would get it.
Right.
But I did the audition, sent it off, moved on with my life. I'm getting ready for the next season of this other show to start. And then we're getting to the point where it's like, all right, we're getting contracts and stuff ready. And they're like, wait a minute, Hightown is still a thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and, initially with acting, when they tell you you're in the mix, that can mean a lot of things, but it doesn't necessarily mean you get a job.
Right.
But when they were like, don't sign anything yet, I was like, oh, this is serious. And then, one thing led to another. I had a call back. That was where I met Rebecca Cutter for the first time. Also Rachel Morrison, who was director for the pilot and also came back for season 2 to direct, I want to say the first 2 episodes of season 2. Gary Lennon, I met a lot of people from STARZ, met some people from Bruckheimer Television. And I went back home and they called me a few days later and it was like, it's you, and I'm like, starting from a point where I was like, I didn't even think I would get this role to I got it. So
man, and you've been nailing it ever since day one. You've been nailing it, man.
I appreciate you saying that, man. Let me tell you a story. I got to the first day of shooting, we're in New York. And I'm in the van and I'm already really nervous about the whole thing. This is my first time being a series regular on a project.
Right.
So, and it's, it's a lot more responsibility when you're, one of the regulars. And so I'm sitting in a van with one of the transportation guys and we're just talking about the show. And the transpo guys rarely know what the story is about. They just drive trucks and you drive people back and forth from that in the different locations. So I'm talking to this guy about the show. And, we just been chatting about all kinds of stuff. And he was like, yeah, so who are you in the show? And I was like, well, I'm the bad guy. I'm one of the bad guys. And he was like, you? He was like, man, if I was a casting director, I wouldn't have cast you in the role of a bad guy. And I was like, oh, man. In that moment, I was like a different me at a different time, that would have messed up the whole day for me.
Oh.
But in that moment, I was ready. I was just locked in. I was like, you know what? They brought me here for a reason. They, all these people are trusting me with this project and this character. It's too late to be like, I'm scared or I'm nervous. I'm whatever. I'm worried. I just got to do it now,
Right.
And here we are. So
I'll say this, just knowing you and knowing your history. One question that I was going to ask, is there anything about Osito that the dark side of you would enjoy playing on screen? But from just learning about you and actually having this conversation with you, I can see why you felt the pressure in the beginning. But here's the thing that I know you had confidence in. you have range. I mean, to be able to be who you are, do some of the roles you've done, then cross over, this just completely shows that there are a dearth of talent within you with great range, and you display it every week that you get on this show. Good job, man.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. And you know, I will say that the support for the show has been awesome. I starting off, it was just a place of being like, this is, you know, when you're the bad guy, you got to be bad. And most of my friends, when I tell them I'm the bad guy, they're like, you? Because me, I'm a joker. I like to laugh. I kid around. You know, I'm a clown at heart. So most people don't see me as somebody being serious or aggressive or intimidating. So I initially was like, man, I guess I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be raising the Titanic to get people to believe me as a bad guy. So, but you know, I just did the work, and also I have to, you know, say that a lot of the heavy lifting was done on the page already. Okay. So, you know, the writing is at a level.
Shout out to Rebecca, man. Shout
out to Rebecca Cutter. She is,
you know, gosh, she is amazing. All you guys on this show are amazing. And I say that as a fan because you all have been so tangible on your social medias, you know, replying to fans, making comments to fans, talking to fans about the excitement that you have in the show. And again, the story is so well written. And you've just alluded that if someone writes something good enough and you have a talented actor, it should be good.
Yes. Here's the thing. Like, as an actor, it's like the difference between, are you a race car driver? And if they give you a Volkswagen or if they give you a Corvette. Now, a good driver can probably still make that Volkswagen do some things, right?
Right.
It's a lot easier to drive when you have a car that's built for driving, you know? And that's essentially the show. You know, as actors, sometimes you're having to elevate the work, but that's not the case here. The writing is so good that you're just like, all right, now let me just play with it. You know, let me just add my own thing and kind of run with it. So that's the beautiful thing about this show. That's not always the case on shows. But that's when, like I said before, that's why I'm super thankful that I'm on this project. And as far as like interacting with people, I was like, I'm a fan of it too. You know, when I'm watching the show, just like everybody else, I'm like, yeah, this is, I know the story obviously, but you know, when you see all the elements come together, I'm not there when everyone's shooting their scene, you know? So I know what it's supposed to say, but I don't necessarily see every shot before. So I'm watching it and I'm just like, I'm in awe of what's happening as well. So, you know, reaching out with people and talking about it, I'm like, yeah, did you see what just happened? You know, so it's a really cool experience.
I have a cool experience for you.
Gotcha.
Because you and all the everybody on the show has been so forthcoming with fans. I have a super fan here who wants to ask you 2 questions as we start to get you out of here, because we know you're busy and we're so thankful that you've given up something that's more precious than money, which is your time. So let me introduce you to the super fan. Super fan Muchellas. Say hello to Miss.
How are you?
Look, I put Lamont up on the show.
Nice.
I said, look, you gotta watch this show.
I appreciate you.
It's called Hightown.
Yeah.
And I've never, now that you smile, now I'm not gonna be like, oh, every time you got a different demeanor with me seeing you now. So you playing your part.
Yeah, thank you.
Now I see your cheeks and your teeth and you smiling, you looking good. It's like you a different person. So you doing your thing, man.
You know, it's funny. I meet people you're different outside of the business who've seen the show and they're like, oh wow, or they'll see pictures of me with my kids or something like that. And they're like, wow, he's just so nice. And I was like, yeah, I'm just acting.
Exactly.
I don't have a gun. I don't carry. Yeah. So I feel like I've done my work if, you know, people, when I meet on the street, are afraid of me. So
I would be. You be mean mugging.
Yeah.
You started it off with a murder. Okay.
Yeah. When I read that part in the script, I was like, oh, like, I'm sitting here like, okay, so what's going on? And I get to the part where it's like he shoots her, and I was shocked. So
like I said, you started it off Will Murder when you like, okay, this is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Now,
so Moochie, what's your question?
Are you gonna continue to be that bad guy, or are you gonna turn it around? And I know you can't give it away. Look, I want you to get out of jail, me myself personally. All right.
Oh, good. She's in the camp with my wife. My wife wants him out of jail so bad.
I was mad that they was putting the rats on your bed because you wasn't no rat. Okay. I was like, they putting rats on his bed. You know, he got his little walker. Come on, man. What can he do? Then they announced it when you going to talk to the police.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll say that Osito is an interesting character because while he is bad, there's that code. He has a line. There is a too far for him. Whereas opposed to someone like Frankie, who, no matter what, he's gonna do what he wants to do. I would say that you're never gonna see a completely good. I just don't feel like the guy that could bash somebody's head in with an iron is gonna become Mr. Rogers all of a sudden. He's not.
I'm not talking about Mr. Rogers. Some of the girls like a bad guy with a.
Oh goodness!
All right, let me just give it to you like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you never know. I mean, I feel like situations change people. So, and he's definitely got a hell of a situation on his hands right now. Mm-hmm. So, you could see some shift in the character. I don't want to give anything away, but I feel like you will enjoy his arc for the remainder of the season for sure.
Gotcha.
All right. And question number 2 is: Are you and a physical therapist gonna get it in?
Oh Lord!
Look.
Oh my God!
I know you can't tell, but I'm asking a question. I want to make you laugh. Look, is that gonna happen? Because look, I see you shooting your game at her when you was in the yard, and I'm like, oh shoot! I said, I bet you can either get her to bring something in, and then it went to the other dude. She gonna be doing something for him, because he got you got the swag like Biggie. Where he know how to talk to girls.
Oh my goodness.
He just be.
I love it. No, once again, let me not. I can't be.
I know you can't tell. All right. I'll look. I'ma just look. That's my prediction, y'all. He gonna get it in with the physical therapist. He can't tell us. Y'all know that. But y'all know right here on the Mon's channel, I predicted it.
All right. Well, thank you, Moochie. Thank you, Moochie. Listen to
what I said before. You'll enjoy the remainder of the season for sure.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get you out of here on this. Again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being tangible with my fans and my subscribers as well.
Absolutely.
I've covered everything I wanted to cover about your character on the show for this season that I can't get you into spoiler territory. So the question would be for you, the person behind the character. Mm-hmm. What's next for Mr. Atkins? What are your aspirations with Hollywood? Are you planning on getting out doing a production team? Do you invest in stocks? What's next for you as you're taking this journey being a father?
Mm-hmm. Well, so as far as like the industry and stuff, my overall thing is definitely I'd like to start making my own projects. I would like to, a big goal for me is to create like a school, especially in South Florida where I'm from. I sat a while back and I thought about what that program at the Boys and Girls Club was, the seed that was able to plant, that it planted in me, and what that has ultimately done for my life. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'd like to be able to offer that to other people coming up, especially young people. And, in the place where I came up in South Florida, I'm trying to think like for kids that are there right now who may be interested in the film and TV industry, what avenue is there for them to Hollywood? And I just don't know that there is one that's a very clear path that's laid out. So what I would like to do is to be able to set up a program where kids can have that path. And initially when you say that, everybody thinks I'm trying to maybe actors. And I was like, there's so many jobs that happen on a production that a lot of people don't think about. Like, I was like, you don't have to be in front of the camera. Not everybody wants to be. Maybe you want to direct, maybe you want to produce, maybe you want to design sets, maybe you want to build sets, maybe you want to be a lighting person. There's so much that goes into making a production work. And I would like to be able to set up something that would be able to offer all of those things to kids, to young kids, as an opportunity for them to kind of see that as another option, you know? And because I know for myself, my family's from Haiti, and growing up, it was like, and this is probably, if you ask any other Haitian person, they'll tell you the same. If you ask any other Caribbean person, for sure, like, they're not trying to hear about acting or entertainment or really any kind of art as a profession. They want you to do something that's like a doctor or a lawyer or something that, like, something I jokingly say, something that they can brag about. But the truth is something that they know for sure you're going to have success with, and you're going to be able to take care of yourself and your family, you know?
Right.
So that being an actor is not fall into one of those categories. So initially when I told my parents that I wanted to be an actor, they were kind of like, you know, not that they were like not supportive, but they were supportive in their own way, but also more concerned and being like, you know, they don't know any actors. And all they ever heard about acting is that not everybody gets to be Tom Cruise, or not everybody gets to be Will Smith or Denzel Washington. Not everybody gets to have that level of success. Right. And it's true, not everybody does get to be those guys, but there's plenty of working actors in Hollywood who work and are successful and are very comfortable, you know? So, but yeah, so that's just something that I feel like we need to push more to let children have a dream, you know? It doesn't always have to be you got to do the thing that's the for sure, the whatever. Like, I feel like, especially for young children of color, young Black children,
yes, there's
always that you have to do the thing that makes the money up front, right? But not the thing that feeds your soul, not the thing that the art, the thing that you love. And I was like, I feel like I want to see more of that being pushed, to do the thing you love, because I'm doing what I love right now, and I'm able to take care of myself and my family. So.
Man, that's amazing. Yeah. We're big into giving back, the pathways we go. I think one of the reasons why my wife is a big fan of yours is because when you did this role, this is what she does for a living. She's a kidney doctor. And and I've owned a couple of businesses, and one of them was a child care chain. So we're big into giving back to kids, and would just say, if you make those channels happen, please don't hesitate to hit us up for donation, partner, whatever is needed, because we look at our own daughter right now and just think, wow, what can we do to pave this pathway, not just for her, but others just like her, and understanding that there are other things to do outside of being an actor. There's things around the industry. So that is well said. And I'm so thankful for this opportunity. I've had the chance to interview you. You as a man is totally different from the character Osito, which says you are nailing this role, man. So any closing words you'd like to give my audience? And if you want to get to know him, I have his IMDb link in the video description. Go check the man out. The parting words are yours, Mr. Atkins.
I would say thank you so much for everybody for the support, for supporting the show, for supporting Lamont. And if there's anything out there that you want to do, just go for it. But a plan with action, right? A lot of times people have big plans or big dreams, but not necessarily the structure to follow it through or the roadmap. Like, I'm always like, if you want to, you know, fly up to the sky on a hot air balloon, you can do it, but you got to figure out how hot air balloons work. Where do I acquire one of those? How much do those cost? You know, so do whatever you want, but just be prepared to get there.
Gotcha. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're thankful, and in true Hollywood form, we can't bring him in on a clap without sending him out on a clap. This is Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Lamont Tyson. Big time interview, Atkins Estimond. Till that next Sex is Hell video, and until we see them in another week on Hightown, we'll see you guys.
Thank you. See you.
See you.